During my wedding speech, my best man said, "Before I toast the groom, I need to know if the bride knows about Rachel." I don't know any Rachel. The reception hall went completely silent. Every single one of the 200 guests turned to stare at me. My brand new wife's face shifted from joy to confusion to something like horror in the span of 3 seconds. My best man Terrence stood at the microphone holding his champagne glass with this bizarre half smile on his face, like he had just told a joke. I grabbed his arm and whispered that I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. He laughed and said I didn't have to pretend anymore. My wife stood up from the head table. Her voice was trembling when she asked who Rachel was. Terrence looked genuinely surprised that she seemed upset. He said I had been seeing someone named Rachel for months and that I even showed him photographs. I felt like the room was spinning. I told everyone I never showed him anything and that I had never met anyone named Rachel in my entire life. Terrence pulled his phone from his jacket and started scrolling through his messages. He found a conversation and held the screen up for everyone to see. The texts were from my number. They described secret hotel meetings and sneaking around and how I couldn't wait to leave my fiancé. There were photos attached showing me with a blonde woman I had absolutely never seen before. My wife grabbed her dress and ran out of the reception hall sobbing. Her father looked at me like he was about to commit a violent crime. I snatched the phone from Terrence and stared at the messages. They were definitely coming from my number, but I had never typed a single word of them. The photos showed me in locations I had never visited wearing clothes I did not own. I told Terrence that someone had obviously spoofed my number and faked these images using artificial intelligence. He laughed bitterly and called me completely pathetic. I shoved past the crowd and sprinted after my wife. She was standing in the parking lot with her face buried in her maid of honor's shoulder. I begged her to listen. I swore on everything I loved that these messages were not real and that I had no idea where they came from. She screamed that she had trusted me with her entire heart and I had destroyed everything. Her maid of honor stepped directly between us. She told me I needed to leave immediately and give her space. Something about the expression on her face made my blood run cold. There was no shock in her eyes, no confusion at all, just this quiet satisfaction, like she was watching a plan come together perfectly. Her name was Sloane. I drove home by myself on what was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. My phone kept buzzing with messages from relatives and friends calling me every horrible name imaginable. I couldn't sleep at all, so I started analyzing the photos on Terrence's phone. I still had it because he never noticed I took it. The images looked convincing, but they weren't flawless. In one picture, my arm tattoo was on the wrong side. In another, the background showed a cafe that had permanently closed down over a year ago. These were AI-generated fakes created by someone who wanted to destroy my marriage. I traced the phone number that had been texting Terrence. It was a prepaid burner activated exactly 3 months earlier. The same exact week, Sloane hosted my wife's bridal shower. Then I remembered something important. Sloane and I dated very briefly back in college before I met my wife. When I ended things, she completely lost it and cut me out of her life. Then she suddenly reconnected with my wife right after our engagement announcement. I drove to Sloane's apartment at 2 in the morning and pounded on her door. She answered, looking irritated, and asked what I wanted. I told her I knew exactly what she had done. Her face flickered with something like panic before she composed herself. She called me insane and tried to slam the door, but I had already spotted her laptop open on the kitchen counter behind her. The screen displayed the exact same AI photo generator that was used to create the fake images of me. I called my wife and explained everything. She was skeptical until I pointed out the closed cafe appearing in a photo supposedly taken last month. She confronted Sloane the following day. Sloane eventually confessed to everything. She admitted she never got over me and couldn't bear watching me marry someone else. She spent months manufacturing fake evidence and waited for the wedding to unleash maximum devastation. My wife came home that night and we held each other until morning. We renewed our vows last month with only family present. Sloane was arrested and is awaiting trial for harassment and fraud.